Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. There's a phrase in IT that pretty much every network or security person has heard at least once. The firewall blocked it. And what's funny is, most of the time, the firewall didn't block anything. But somehow, whenever something breaks, whenever an app stops working, whenever a login fails, the firewall gets blamed first. So today, I want to talk about what is probably one of the biggest myths in IT. Why it keeps happening, what's actually going wrong most of the time, and why network and security teams always seem to be the first suspects. Alright, if you've ever watched any hacker or cybersecurity show, you will notice something real quick. Anytime the hero can't connect, they say something like, the firewall is blocking us, bypass the firewall, shut down their firewall. Movies make firewalls look like this all-powerful digital gate that controls everything, but real life IT, way less dramatic. Most of the time, the firewall is just sitting there quietly, doing exactly what it's configured to do. Not plotting, not attacking, not randomly breaking apps. Just following the rules that was configured on it. And if you work in networking or security, you already know how this story goes. An application stops working, and immediately someone says, did the firewall block it? Not did DNS fail? Did the server crash? Did the certificate expire? Did someone happen to change something in the app? Nope. Straight to firewall issue. And now the network or security team has to stop whatever they're doing just to prove, again, that the firewall didn't block anything. Let's be real for a second. When something breaks, here's what it usually is. DNS problems, routing issues, a server is down, an expired certificate, wrong permissions, an application was misconfigured. But somehow, we still blame the firewall first. Real troubleshooting isn't dramatic. It's slow, methodical, sometimes, honestly, kind of boring. You check, can we resolve this DNS? Can we reach the host? Is the port open? Does the log show any drops? Is the service even running? And did anyone change anything recently? And a lot of the time, after all of that checking, you find out the firewall was fine the whole time. And this isn't just theory. This literally happened to me last week. Actually, it was happening pretty much all week. We kept getting tickets saying the firewall is blocking an application over and over again. One ticket in particular got escalated because nobody really wanted to touch it. Another department was trying to set up some new backup machines and they were having issues installing an application. The data just wasn't flowing how they expected it to. So the automatic assumption was, yeah, it's probably the firewall. So I got the ticket, I checked the firewall rules, checked the traffic pattern, the logs at that location. Everything looked correct. I could even see other devices on that same network passing traffic just fine. So at that point, it really didn't look like a firewall issue to me. But I jumped on the troubleshooting call with the person on the other end while they were trying to install again. So first they had to uninstall the failed install, running it again, and the whole time I'm watching the firewall logs in real time. And while they're saying, yeah, I think the firewall is blocking it, I'm sitting there looking at the firewall logs like, nope, I'm literally seeing traffic right now. So they start the install again. I tell them, yep, I'm seeing traffic. They keep going. More steps, more progress. Yep, I'm still seeing traffic. Then finally, they get to the end of the install and it magically finishes successfully. I made no changes on the firewall. I didn't touch anything. It was just a false alarm. That's really the whole point. The firewall got blamed first. Escalated, stressed over, but in reality, the firewall was working perfectly the entire time. And this kind of thing happens way more than people realize. I would say every security person has had this moment. You spend hours digging into firewall issues, checking rules, logs, NAT issues, routing, everything. Then someone casually says, oh, the server was powered off. And you just sit there quietly, rethinking your entire life. Now, to be fair, sometimes it is actually the firewall. There can be a wrong rule, missing NAT, a policy not installed, or a misconfigured object. Yeah, it happens. But real firewall problems show up in the logs. Firewalls literally tell you what got blocked, when it got blocked, why it got blocked, and which rule did it. So if there's no log, there's a really good chance it wasn't the firewall. And honestly, this whole thing says something bigger about IT culture. Teams working in silos, people not understanding each other's roles, jumping to blame instead of troubleshooting together. Good IT teams don't blame first. They figure it out together. Because in the end, it's not about being right, it's about fixing the problem. And if you're new in networking or cybersecurity, here's something important to remember. You will get blamed sometimes, even when it's not your fault. And that's okay. Over time, you build confidence, you trust your troubleshooting process, and you learn to stay calm even when fingers are start pointing at you. Just remember, logs don't lie, data tells the truth, and patience wins every time. So next time someone says, the firewall blocked it, pause for a second, check the logs, and maybe, just maybe, the firewall was innocent all along. Alright, that was my little rant, my TED Talk for the day. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.